Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Hello all, welcome to Ganesh IAS Academy. This is the special session. In this session, we are going to discuss about the previous year UPSC Mains economic question. Let's begin the session. This question was asked in 2016. It is a 12.5 mark question and also 200 words question. The question is about allelopathy. What is allelopathy? Discuss its role in major cropping system of irrigated agriculture. So, first of all, the persons who attended these questions in 2016, these aspirants don't know what is allopathy because it is purely related to the agriculture. So this will be the scenario for you also. In a mains, there may be any questions, any terms that is totally unrelated to you. So in that scenario, you have to manage it because until you are belongs to the stream of in your degree, you know that what it is. For example, when it comes to allopathy, it is the persons who did the degree in agriculture, they know that what is allopathy. Other persons who are other aspirants, they don't know what is allopathy. In that scenario, you have to manage that question. So that is common for all the 90% of the aspirants. So in that scenario, you have to manage it. That is the reality you have to do. So always don't hesitate to manage the question. Please try to attend all the 20 questions. That is more important when it comes to the mains exam. Here, the question is, what is allelopathy? Which means actually it is nothing but it is a chemical substance. It is the chemical substance released by the plant that either inhibit or stimulate the plant growth. That is called as allelopathy. Normally, most of the plants have this property. So the substance, that chemical substance that released by the plants. So the plant that releases the chemical substance that either be harmful for the plants that are surrounding it, or else it may be act as a stimulate for the growth. So this is called as allelopathy. Okay, so the chemical substance that released is called as allelochemical. And also the chemical substance that released by the plant, it may be from the roots, or else from the stems, or else from the seeds, or else from the flowers. From anywhere the allelopathic chemical will be released. So this is called as allelopathy. So for example, which of the plants that will release is even common paddy, wheat, sorghum. These are the major common crops. They will release this allelopathic chemicals, allelochemicals. So this is called as allelopathy. So only if you know what is allelopathy, you can attend this question, but you have to manage that because you have to attend all the 20 questions. So that is the thing you have to follow. In mains, year on year, they are actually doing like this only. Okay, they try to give a new term. You have to manage that. That is how they are making a questions. So here it is about allelopathy. So next, the second part of the question is saying that discuss its role in major cropping systems of irrigated agriculture. So here, so your intro should be, it is about what is allelopathy. That is your intro. And then second subdivision of the question is the role in major cropping system of irrigated agriculture. So the second subdivision will be the role of allelopathy in major cropping systems in irrigated agriculture. In that way, you have to give the second subdivision heading. Then you have to speak about what is cropping system. Okay, like a small intro of para about what is cropping system. Cropping system is nothing but it is about the cultivation of crops, or else about the sequencing of the crops in a time period. Okay, in a time period, which crops you are going to cultivate and what are the sequence you are following. that is called as cropping system. So the question is asking that how this allelopathy plays the major role in the cropping system of the irrigated agriculture. So this is what the question. So when it comes to cropping system, it is what is the crop you are going to cultivate, and also what is the sequence you are going to follow. Okay, so that is called as cropping system, and also you have to say that how this allelopathy is going to play the major role in the cropping system of the irrigated structure. Okay, so it is one of the simplest question, but only if you know that what is allelopathy, it will be the simple question. If not, it is one of the toughest question. So here you have to say that. So you know that, so allelopathy is a chemical that will either stimulate or inhibit the growth of the plants surrounding it. So in that scenario, it will be act as the weed management. So it will control the weed growth. So as a farmer, the person need to go for fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, and also herbicides. So he need to buy herbicides or weedicides. So if you are going to cultivate as a intercropping or else in a sequence of cropping, you are going to cultivate this any plants that is having the property of allelopathy. If you are going to cultivate that, means you can easily overcome the need of the herbicides and the weedicides. So the weed management, for weed management, you can use the cultivation of this allelopathic plants. So that is the thing the farmer can do. So by the way, they can reduce the dependence on the buying of the herbicides or the weedicides. So the spending, the input the farmer need to spend on that land will be reduced due to this allelopathic plants. So that is the major thing. That is the major role played by the allelopathic plants. So for example, here rice, wheat and sorghum exhibit the allelopathic properties that suppress the weeds, reducing the need of chemical herbicides. For example, rice variety releases the allelochemicals to inhibit the growth of the barnyard grass. So it is a normal grass. So it will reduces that. So in that scenario, you will overcome the need of the herbicides. So that is the major benefit by the allelopathic plants. Next, it is about the soil health. So this allelopathy plant or the chemical released by the plants, it is called as allelochemical. That chemical not only inhibit the growth of the surrounding plants, but also it will improve the soil's health, soil's nutrition value, or else it will reduces the microorganisms growth that are harmful for the plant growth. So for example, in the soils, there will be the good bacteria and the bad bacteria also. So we need to overcome the growth of the bad bacteria or the bad microorganism. To overcome that, this allelopathic chemicals will done. Okay, they can do that. So that is the next major thing. So it will helps in the management of the soil health. So the soil health will be improved. That is the next major benefit of this allelopathy. So allelopathic crops can reduce the soil pathogens and pests. Mustard and sunflower, for instance, releases the substance that suppress the nematodes. So nematodes is one of the harmful substance in the soil. So in the way you can increase the soil nutrition, soil health will be improved. So that is the next major benefit. So you can overcome the need of any chemicals to suppress the growth of this harmful pathogens in the soil. So that is also the next benefit. Next, it will reduce the new nitrogen leaching. So before that, you have to know some basics about nitrogen fixations. So when it comes to nitrogen fixations, it is majorly done by the, like in the lightning, there will be nitrogen fixation will happen, or else there are certain leguminous plants that will do the nitrogen fixation. For example, in the atmosphere, there is 70% of nitrogen. Okay, but it is in a gaseous form. But the plant need to intake means it need either in a liquid or a solid form. So that is the major thing. So the plant can't directly take the nitrogen from the atmosphere. So for that, we will either go for a nitrogen fertilizer. For that only, the government is providing a urea subsidy. And also note one major thing about India soil. In India, all the soils, okay, all the soils lacks nitrogen, lack of nitrogen. So this is the scenario of the India soil. In this scenario, you are in a need of urea fertilizers. Okay, so government is providing a urea subsidy, which is nothing but NPK. So the government is doing that. But if you are going for a allelopathy plant, that will reduces the nitrogen leaching, which means the conversion of the nitrogen fixed one into the, again it is converted into the gaseous form. That is called as nitrogen leaching. So which is moving away from the soil. That will be reduced by the allelopathic chemicals. The plant releasing this chemical that will reduce the nitrogen leaching. So the recent year studies have proven that nitrification inhibiting substance produced by the plant can reduce the emission of N2O and improves the utilization rate of the nitrogen fertilizer and reduces the pollution to the environment. So this is the next major benefit. So what is that pollution to the environment means? Consider that the farmer is going for a fertilizing their field with the nitrogen. Okay, in that scenario, if it is not fully taken by the soil, in that scenario, if there is any rainfall, it will be leached and it is moved towards the lakes or ponds. In that lakes and ponds, the plant will grow. So that is called as eutrophication. So eutrophication is the one of the harmful element. So if the process of eutrophication is happening, means that will affect the pond ecosystem or the lake's ecosystem. So fishes or the marine or the river or the pond ecosystem will be heavily affected. So that is the major concern. So that can be overcome by this allelopathic chemicals. Okay, so these are the major benefits. Next, so allelochemical structure. So if the research, if you are going to do the research in this allelochemicals, you can manufacture bio herbicides. So that is the major thing can happen. So that is also a major thing. And then if you are going for intercropping or intra-cropping, in that scenario also you can easily overcome the issue of the weeds. And the last thing is about a sustainable farming. Nowadays there is a huge growth, or else the consumerism is shifting towards the organic farming. So the shift towards the organic farming, or else the growth in the consumption of the organic vegetables or the fruits, that is happening in India. So in that scenario, so there is a huge demand for the organic, okay, organic products. In that scenario, if you are need to in a shift towards the organic farming, you definitely need this allelopathic plants. The need is you can easily overcome the dependence of the chemicals. Okay, so artificial chemicals, so you can easily overcome that thing. But the plant, it is a natural process. It is providing the chemical that is overcoming the issues of this weeds. So next major thing is when it comes to the sustainable farming, we definitely need the allelopathic plants. So these are the major things. So the allelopathic role in the major cropping system in the irrigated agriculture, these are the major things. And then you have to conclude your answer. When the conclusion, you have to say that the government motto was doubling of farmer income by 2022, but still it not happened. Okay, so this is the major concern. At the same time, you have to say about if we need to achieve this doubling of farmer income, we definitely need to reduce the input cost spent by the farmer. For that, we definitely need to incorporate this allelopathy in the cropping system in India. And also we need to spread the awareness about this allelopathic chemicals, allelopathic plants to the farmer. So in that way, you have to conclude your answer, because when it comes to the awareness about this allelopathic plant, which is very limited to the farmer. That is the major concern. So if the farmer is aware of these things, they won't go for any need of the herbicides or the weedicides. They won't go for any purchasing of these things. They will simply can cultivate these plants. So in that scenario, it will be provide the farmer with a double benefit. For example, if the farmer is going to, in a lean season, they are going to cultivate a sorghum. So from the sorghum also he is going to get certain benefits. At the same time, he can overcome the issue of this weedicides. In the time of the intercropping, that is going to help. And also it will reduce the nitrogen leaching. So all the benefits are there. So it will be like a win-win situation. It is the double the win for the farmer. Okay. So in that way, you have to say that there is a need of enhancement in the awareness. This is the first thing. And the second thing is the spend on the R&D related to the allelopathy plants have to be increased. In that way, you have to conclude it, because these are the lagging things happening in India. So you have to address this issue in your conclusion. You have to say that. Okay. And also please note, doubling of farmers' income by 2022. Try to use it in every question that is related to the farmers' income. Okay. So this is the motto of the government. Try to use it in every questions that is speaking about the farmers' income. Okay. One or another way, try to use it. That is the more important thing. And also, for if you are going to use these kinds of terms in your answer, means it will enrich your answer and you will get some extra marks. That is the benefit of using these kinds of things. Okay. So try to follow that. Thank you.